Hi, everyone, and welcome to the One Podcast. Today's guest is really special to me. She's someone I met online. Gosh, I think I saw you for the first time probably over 4 years ago. And then we were lucky enough to be in some private mentorship groups where we got to see and learn about each other and connect internationally. What I love so much about her is since I got to know a little bit about her and see not only her beauty, but the presence of her soul. I have always felt there was something so special about her. So it is a huge honor for me to have her on the podcast today. Let me tell you a little bit about Riya. She is an artist, a public speaker, and author. She has performed on large theater stages and all over online spaces. Her musical and developmental shows have moved thousands of people, causing them to fall in love with their lives and remember its sacredness. Her music album is in Buckingham Palace with Duchess Kate, and she receives international awards for her life-changing work. I am so pleased and honored to be able to introduce you to Riya Sokól. Riya, welcome to the One Podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Lisa, for the invitation. I cannot wait what's going to unfold just now. I feel chills all over my body.
I cannot wait either. I would love to jump into a little bit about your background. You are an incredible artist, and I want to know, have you always been musically inclined? How did you dive into that? And then let's talk about your expansion over time with your work.
I got on the stage when I was 7. I was dancing and singing all over our country, all over Poland, but also traveling around the world. So I was put on stage in front of thousands of people in a group, but I was a soloist there. So it was like immediately on the deep water. No learning, no music right in. So obviously it shaped me. It shaped me in terms of being seen, being projected on, being loved, being hated, being judged, like being bullied for all sorts of things. So I went through a lot. And then obviously when I ended up in show business, with my very low self-esteem and a lot of anxiety issues like panic attacks that were really very present in my life since I was a kid, then also eating disorder and so many things that I was struggling with. I ended up when show business hit me and I went into being public person officially, I ended up being diagnosed with depression. So it was a journey. It was 13 years ago. Since then, I did this whole transformation and everything changed in my life. And I'm here right now. And I would never believe that this is how I'm going to move from that diagnosis. However, music and stage and performing and whatever I was causing in people's hearts and in people's souls when I was on the stage was something always extraordinary. Like I felt in the midst of being bullied and in the midst of being having all kinds of issues in the house, when I was on the stage, I felt like I'm in God's hands and like I can do anything. And also this feeling of people who were shining suddenly just from watching the show that made me feel like this is why I'm alive. Literally as a kid I didn't understand it, but this is how it felt. So I did everything that I had to do, moving through all the sickness, all the illnesses, all the other difficult things to be able to show up now in all my power and expanding rather than fixing myself, and being able to show up and do the shows and do all kinds of artistic transmission for other people.
I have a really strong feeling that you're going to be reaching some younger people through this some who feel so called to whatever their artistry is, whatever their gift and talent is, and yet that they are living what you lived. And I think it's so inspiring to be able to see someone on the other side, to know, okay, I'm being bullied, things are not good at home. I'm going through all sorts of my own traumas and stress. And even if we have perfect external circumstances, still trying to find yourself as a child, as a teenager. I felt like even in my 20s and 30s, I was still a little lost. I'm not an artist myself in that type of way, but I've been told that when you have that strong calling and passion to your work, that it is your escape in some ways. It's the way that you can get away from everything else. And I can imagine that is compounded when you feel such a calling from God. It's not just that I love this and I'm really good at this, but I feel something actually come through me and I am able to witness its impact on people. I really feel like if there is a mother or a father who's listening to this and you have children that are somehow in the arts, whether it's music or instruments, I would love for them to connect with her and see this is what can happen on the other side. There's hope. You can be bullied, and this can happen for you. Because if it's possible for her, it's possible for any of us. And I feel like that's very a very important part of your message and who you are, that you can make it through all of that and become this. Especially if you let yourself keep going back to the escape, if you can tune out all of the other noise and just connect back into that thing we don't know what it is as a child, but that thing that says, this is meant for you, this is your gift. How did you know that? Did you know that you would be okay? Did you know that if I continue to stick to this, it will end up turning out all right? Or was it just the thing that you would escape away to? How did you navigate that looking back? What was it that helped you along that path?
Oh gosh, I wish I knew, I wish I knew. I literally was sure that I will not. And actually, this is the hardest part of that whole journey. When you realize that there is work to be done, you have no idea what's going to happen to you. You have no idea how it's going to work out. How many times I was on the stage, because I always say my first memories are from the stage.
Mhm, mhm.
It's like everyone says that the home is where the heart is. And for me, this is always stage. I feel that stage is my home. This is where I was born. Actually, I feel that I'm going to die on stage as well. And I feel that this is my place and that this is my church almost. This is how I feel.
Mhm.
So every time I'm performing on a stage, I go on my, and I do it since I was a child. I go on my knees and I touch her, I pray to her, I ask her, I give thanks to her and so forth. You wouldn't imagine how many times I was saying goodbye to stage. I was like, this is our last goodbye. Like, this is it. I will never see you again because I'm not able to. And when I was recovering from depression, it took me 5 years. And this was again, I was like, this is it. This is my last time because I felt either I'm not going to survive, or even if I survive, this is not my path. I won't be able to hold people anymore because I'm so ill. The amount of times that it's almost like an affair, when it's like together, separate, together, separate, together, separate, and there is this movie called, I think there is Ryan Gosling there, that they are, uh, I think Notebook, is it Notebook, where they are
Mhm. Yes.
back and forth like all the time. This is how I felt with stage, that it was all the time like this very fiery affair, romance
Mm.
that ended up in this beautiful way that we finally got married. It
Yeah.
took a lot. And I just didn't know. I had no idea. I was looking for a new job. I was trying to find another thing because I felt I misunderstood that it's not actually my path. There was just so many stories and so many, doubts about it. So it was a roller coaster.
Well, and for anyone listening, I feel like sometimes there is no problem, no issue, and there shouldn't be judgment around getting a job while you're supporting something that you truly dream of doing. And like you were saying, I feel sometimes when we step away from something or when something isn't functioning the way we dream it does, that it pulls us away, but it also pulls us back, and we come back with more appreciation and a little more awe that it's still working, right? That somehow we get to do this again. And I don't feel that it's a bad thing when you struggle through, who am I? What am I doing? Is this going to work out? How do I keep going? But something in you kept coming back through the sickness, through the depression, because at any point of time you could have written it off. And I feel like I feel that it's such a beautiful gift you knew young, that you can see an impact on people's faces. Because I'm trying to imagine, if I was in your shoes, the one thing that would have kept me coming back is knowing that it was making a difference, knowing that it was touching someone. But going through 5 years of depression and struggling with, is this the last time? I think that that's so inspiring, because we all wonder that when you love something so much and it's not working out. Is it meant for me? Is it not? Am I supposed to do something else? Should I give up? And I feel like the ones who really champion and feel fulfillment are the ones who are like, no matter what I need to do to support myself, no matter where my path takes me, there's this part of it that's always going to stay with me. Whether it would have been you came back to stages or just recorded albums, you're just a born beautiful artist. I can't imagine you not ever reconnecting.
Well, but this is like this, you just said something crucial. This is what everyone saw in me. And this is what I was also probably as a kid. I was realizing that, first of all, I felt special. And also, I felt as a kid, I'm making a difference. And this was a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And I feel that in a way, I probably, in order not to feel this heaviness, I probably started building this thing of how can I take from it? And I started taking from it by feeding my self-esteem, my self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the crucial things, fundamental things, why I said goodbye to stage and to performing on stage and for people, as I was diagnosed in depression and I started the first year of recovery, because I was recovering unconventionally. I didn't take any medications. I was doing it in an unconventional way. And one of the first things that I realized was, why am I getting on the stage? And I realized that I'm getting on the stage in order to feel loved. And this was like a very brutal cold shower on my head. I felt like I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfair. And it almost felt like profanation of the sacredness that I was creating on the stage with God. It felt like abuse, like I abused my own impact, my power, my connection, like everything. And probably this is what really shook me. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I went on my knees. I said, I will never do it again. I swear I will never do it again. And to prove that, I'm going to say goodbye to stage. And this was my thinking. And at that point, not only I was punishing myself because I felt I made the worst thing I could do. It almost felt like I broke the contract with God and it was not okay. And I felt very angry about that. But also, I thought that this was the only reason. So the reason was so big that it covered the true mission underneath. So then it took me years to get rid of, and tidy up all that stuff.
Yeah.
When it was clean and I was in ashrams meditating, recovering and so forth, I started getting invitations to sing, to perform, to speak. And I found myself on stage again. I didn't even realize that. So it came back as a boomerang by itself. But then one day, as I was on the stage, I was like, oh my God, I'm really here again because I want to give, because of who I am, because I love to love, and because I love to share, not because I'm feeding myself and the gaps in me. And this
Yes.
is when I realized, okay, so it was not the only, like there was, this is why I came here for still, but it was eaten by all my deficits. And I had to tidy it all up to get to the core and realize, okay, so this is it. I just had to clean it all up. And right now I feel I'm disciplinating myself a lot with mentors, with therapy, with supervision, where it's like, I'm never gonna do it again. I'm not feeding myself. I'm getting out there because I'm in co-creation with, the cosmic intelligence, God, or divinity, however we want to call it. And then I am being used to give it to people. And of course, I receive a lot of gratitude and love, and I feel the impact, but I'm very serious with myself about not going into the direction where I start feeding myself, my ego with that.
Well, and I'm glad you brought this up because it's absolutely normal in especially as a child, teenager, early 20s, and even now to look for external validation. We look for that in all things. When you do
True.
a great thing at your career, you want accolades for that. When you've accomplished something you worked hard at, you want to be appreciated and acknowledged for that. I was just listening to a study done with children that aren't shown a lot of love when they are young. They end up being what people call narcissist, but it's only because they are trying to function from the time they're little, looking for, as we're given love young, and then as we start to grow and we're supposed to teach ourselves our own love in a supportive, loving environment, then we learn self-love. But if you're not given the supporting, loving environment, it's very hard for you to self-nurture, which I'd never thought of, and learn that own self-love inside it. And so people end up putting themselves first a lot because they weren't taught how to self nurture. And I thought that is a different perspective I've ever thought of. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is I do think when we're young, no matter what, that's how we recognize that we're loved, is we look for that external feedback. And then, like you were saying, one thing that landed in my mind as you were saying, I realized I was on the stage and feeding my own ego. I had this feeling, and I'm just going to share it with you. I had this feeling as if God, the universe, was smiling at you, like you were meant to enjoy it too. It wasn't all just for me. It was okay that it fed your ego because the gifts are meant to come through you, but it's also, you get to be appreciated that you are the vessel that's willing to do it. Because there are gifts that are waiting to come through people that are choosing not to do it out of fear, or maybe they feel a little overwhelmed, or they don't feel good enough. You actually have faced every challenge and continued to come back. So I don't think God was saying it had to be one or the other. I think he's saying, hey, you get to feel good about yourself for doing this because you are the continual vessel for the things, the gifts that I have bestowed upon you. And when the gifts are given, not only are they given, but we take on that responsibility to nurture and feed and perfect those and then deliver them to the world. And so I just got this feeling like you're meant to enjoy
Uh,
it, young lady.
of course, of
Mhm.
course. And it's almost like as you were speaking, I have tears in my eyes because it's two extremes. On one of them, it's like I'm feeding my ego and I'm like completely forgot about the whole depth. And on the other is like this punishing God who is saying, you cannot do it like that, young lady. And of course, it's all about finding the middle ground, something that is in between, something that is both, because I am still a human.
You are.
And and if I go a little bit too harsh on myself, then I'm again losing it
Yes.
because it's another extreme. I'm again losing it. And I'm really grateful that you noticed that because it's something that we also get to do in life sometimes.
Yep.
We get scared because we did something we don't like, and then we go on the other side. And whether it's stage or work or relationship, whatever it is, we have a tendency to be very harsh on ourselves.
Yes. I've redefined my relationship with God for 15, 20 years, and I really feel like he has a great sense of humor. And I was raised to
I
be
love it.
afraid of
Yes.
him. I was raised to think I wasn't, I raised myself that way. I interpreted things around me with a very
Mm.
judgmental God and that I couldn't ever be perfect. And I just picture him like, you're so funny. Why are you so hard on yourself? Of course you're going to do that. I expect you to do that now. And then you just change your mind the next day. I just picture him having the best sense of humor and so much love and understanding. Of course you're going to get wrapped up in yourself for a minute. I mean, and I get it because I made you. Look at how perfect you are. You're adorable. Like, look at all your little flawlessness running around serving me down there. So I think it's an important thing in all aspects, like you were saying. Watch where your intentions are in what you're doing. Be aware how much that I am doing is that for outside or outside, what's that word I'm looking for? Recognition.
Yeah, and admiration. Yeah.
Yes, admiration, and then how much am I serving? But what I
Well,
love about you is I want to share that story we were talking about. One thing that I got to witness with Riya was she had an important, huge performance coming up. Huge. Tell the story about this. And this was just last year. Share this
it
story.
was
So
5 months, 6 months ago.
yes,
Yes.
very, very recent. Tell us,
Very.
tell the story. I love this story.
Thank you so much. I think that what is crucial in what I'm gonna say is the bridge between what you just said is that everything, like being a human whilst connecting to God, remember about having fun, remember about it's okay if you are happy about validation, like it's all fine. Just keep be on the online with me all the time. Everything is fine. And the thing, like the risk comes when I make it mean something. When it's like people don't buy, people don't watch me, people don't click on likes, people don't come on my shows or don't validate me, and then I make it mean something about me. And I guess this was the biggest breakthrough that I had. And this, I could say, was the crucial part of the magic story that you just asked for. Because I started doing shows as I came back on stage, and it was clear that it's, oh my God, I'm home. How could I forget about that ever? And I came back from a completely different place and with a completely different energy, recognition, understanding. And when I decided I'm going to do shows, I, I went big, of course, because my first show was sold for 400 people and I sold it in 2 weeks. So that was pretty fast.
Yep.
So the show became this kind of card for me. Like, this is what I do every year. It's my birthday show. It's about my journey from depression to abundance and all the love and everything that I've created. And the show is big. It's a 4 hour show. I'm singing, dancing, speaking, transforming people's hearts, souls, and everything. It's incredible. And what happened last year was that 3 months before the show, or 4 months before the show, I was in Costa Rica and I got ill with dengue fever, which is very serious thing. Not even because of that, but because of the complications afterwards. So as I came back to Poland and I was preparing to the show, I had 2 months or something to prepare it and to sell it, I ended up in a hospital and I had everything. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk. I was in a hospital all the time. Even when I was trying to talk, I couldn't breathe because of the lungs and all the, I don't even know the English names for all the diseases that I was having, but it was super serious. I was coughing all the time. They had to give me oxygen all the time and it was bad. And then on the top of that, my Instagram got hacked.
Oh.
And because it got hacked, and then I recovered it, but Instagram said because it got hacked, we have to cut your visibility on Instagram because this is the rule that we have on Instagram. And it cut it to like, I think 40% of visibility. And Instagram is my main place where I'm selling things, where I'm showing, where I have a contact with my audience.
Mhm.
So these two things, me not being able to make rehearsals, not being able to sing, not being able to dance, not being able to go on lives, go on stories, make reels, and be in the vibe of the show coming up. I wasn't able to do that. On the top of that, Instagram was like, yeah, we also cannot help you because we just cut your visibility. And yeah, exactly. So first of all, I didn't make it mean anything. The only thing that it made me that I kept asking myself was, are you in connection to the God, to the divine? Are you in connection? Yes, I am. What is the answer? Like, should you cancel the show? And I was asking it every single day. And every single time I was hearing no, you're doing it. And then I had mentors. I had Amy, I had Melanie. And both of them were holding me in that. And as I was coming to them and saying, I hear I'm doing it. I am not able to speak. I'm not able to do anything. And I hear I'm doing it. The tickets were not selling because I wasn't selling.
Mhm.
It was all bad. And not making it mean anything, first of all. Second of all, getting even deeper into connection to God, to my audience, to my creation, to the source, to my potential, to my resources. Like it forced me because I was terrified.
Yeah.
Even though I heard from God, I'm blessing you, child, I'm blessing. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is too much. This
Mhm.
is not,
Mhm.
like, this is not, I was speechless. And I was terrified. I was lying in bed every single day. You ask me what I've done, I did everything, including like visualizing theater and 800 people because it was a show for 800 people. I was like having 60 tickets sold. One of my meditations every single day. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
I was lying in bed, like I was getting these panic attacks, like it's gonna be empty. And then I was counting to 800, like one person, second person, third. And it was like one soul, second soul, third soul. I'm calling you, fifth soul, sixth soul, seventh soul. I was calling, like literally, I was connecting until I went to 800 every single day.
Wow.
I was like, I'm calling you. I'm here. You can come. I'm calling you. You can come. You can come. It was giving me panic attacks, anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't breathe. What can I tell you? Everything. And still, there was a voice inside of me that was unshakable. It was unshakable. It was every time, breathe. You are blessed. You just breathe, breathe. So, with the help and support, obviously, with my mentors, with our group, with the House of Oat, where we are on the mastermind, with like my therapist, my like everyone around me, my friends, my family, I at some point I had to go on my knees and I said, even if there is going to be 60 people in this theater and 740 empty chairs, I am going to do it. Like I'm going to show up. And I think this was the breakthrough because it was my biggest fear. I think this is the biggest fear of everyone who's doing any kind of shows or concerts, or it's like, what if it's going to be empty? Because when you go online, it's fine. Like 17 people, fine. It's okay.
Mhm.
But 800 people and empty theater, there was something to be let go of. And at some point I was like, okay, I am going to do it anyway. I will not cancel it. God is saying not to cancel it. And and like no one knows how it happened that the theater, I think it was the last 10 days probably that it filled out. And it was the best show I've ever done in my whole entire life. So I feel the queen of manifestation because I guess for some people, making a million is something that is impossible. You know, we all have these bars.
Mhm.
Which place is the most difficult for us? And once you do something that you actually not quite believe in, it gives you power. It gives you like
Whoa. It
it's
changes
shocking.
everything.
So this was intense, and you were part of it. So I already said it in our group that I feel we did it. It's not like I did it. We did it. God did it, and we did it. Our group, we did this beautiful meditation together, also connecting and holding each other. It was massive, and it showed me the power of connection that is invisible, that is, we cannot see that connection, but it exists, and it's bigger than everything we've ever thought. And this is where we create, not in strategies, marketing strategies, like we can do it, but there's something much more powerful and much deeper, where we can take our resources from. Yeah, it's profound.
There are so many important things from this story, and that's why I wanted her to share, and you shared it so perfectly. There are so many vital pieces that all happen together that I feel like for any dream that you have, anything that you want to accomplish, any dream that's on your heart, especially when it looks as if nothing is going to work. She is a singer and can't even breathe and is in the hospital, and a dancer, and her body is literally riddled with so many things going on. She's having IVs. It does not look even possible that she could perform, number one, and then fill double the size stadium of her last performance, and then you have 60 seats filled. And I can imagine, oh my gosh, 60 out of 800. But first, you have to overcome, can I even get healthy enough to serve the 60? The things that stuck out to me that I would really love people to hear and to take in as you're listening to this and applying it, take a second and look at your own life and wonder, okay, where could I apply some of this story to me? And what I caught that I thought was so important was first, obviously, the trust. So you asked whether you believe in God or source or whatever, you got the answer, do this. We all get that answer. Whatever your thing is coming across your mind right now for the listeners or the viewers, you got the answer to do it. And then sometimes it looks like 100% everything is going wrong. So the first thing we do is wait, really? Am I really supposed to do this? I swear you said I was supposed to do this, but then how? And then she continued to walk that path. I am going to get healthy, and I'm going to reach out to everyone I trust to support me, not to complain and not to step into the fear, but to please hold this vision with me. I know in my soul I'm supposed to do this. Hold this vision with me. Can you support me in it? Can you hold this dream? Can you send me your positive energy? Can you help me to believe this is going to come true? And what I think that we miss out on is I'm going to take the action steps forward. I'm going to start taking care of my body. I'm going to get out of this hospital. I remember seeing your videos online of you dancing when you're so sick. I mean, your body's so sick, and you're like, I will practice, I will dance. That's what we have to get through the hard part. You have to decide, I am committed to this. I don't care what I feel, I'm going to get through. And then the one thing that I feel like is the total release, and obviously, since this is called the One Podcast, this is my heart's message. You knew you were showing up for 60 or 800. And I feel like that is always the catch when you feel you have a gift coming through you, and then you're not seeing how many people you hoped would be there for it. Like if you do have an online business and only one person shows up to the live, if you've got this great sales presentation and you only get one appointment out of it, if you created this beautiful piece of furniture and no one's buying it, or you only have one pre-order, it is always about the one, because it takes one, each one of 60 to show up. So it's 61 people. And then I loved what you said about I started every day calling in the one of 800. You didn't just say, I want 740 people to show up. You literally started calling them one by one with your energy. Come, you're welcome. I will be there. I will perform for you. I'm calling you to me. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. But I really want to emphasize, whatever your gift is, if you know you're supposed to be doing it, do it. Get through whatever is showing up for you. I mean, if she can literally get out of the hospital and perform when her body doesn't want to work, and then show up like it is the greatest performance of your lifetime, the greatest creation of your lifetime, the greatest piece of art, piece of furniture, sales presentation, whatever it is, for the one. And then hopefully there's more than one. But if you show up that way for one, it will only compound that way. And she drew them all in with that trust.
I'm just so touched. Like the way you paraphrased it, it's just incredible. Thank you so much for making it in this one picture. Like this is massive, and the fact that this podcast is called The One feels like almost, God had a plan, This is why you got sick. This is why you had to count from one, because then you're gonna be in the podcast that is called The One, and you're
Yes.
gonna say it because there might be one person who is going to listen to that story and whose life is going to be magically transformed. Like, this is incredible. Thank you so much.
All we really need in life is just the trust that if one other person can do it, I can do it. And I think that's what's so beautiful about before online, there was books. And thank heaven that people would take the time to write an autobiography or a biography. And then now there still is books, but there's podcasts and there's YouTubes. And if we take it from the right angle, instead of, oh, I wish I could be like that, or look at what they're doing, but I'm not, or how come it works for them, but it doesn't. That voice in the head that says, I can't, or it won't work for me. Instead, this person is evidence that it works. If it can work for her or him or whatever, it can work for me. And then it's that everything, all of the elements you put together. The I believe I'm supposed to do this. Let me get confirmation. Okay, are we sure again? Are we really, really sure? Because it doesn't look like it's gonna work. And then the walking forward. And I think I was analyzing my own circumstances, and I think sometimes where I fall short in those is the reaching out to the people that love and support me, because there is something about collective energy. And I think sometimes we get afraid to share the dream of what we're creating with someone in case it does fail. And when it's looking like it's not going to work out, the last thing we want to do is share that with other people because it may not work out. And instead, you reached out and said, this big thing is coming. I would love support. I would love for you to hold this vision with me. And what we don't get to actually physically see is that energetic, let's do this together. Let me send this person my love. Let me believe in this person. I believe this is possible. And I remember being on that call with the meditation, but the not knowing if it was going to work out, the not knowing.
Exactly.
And then
We didn't know. We didn't
and then
know.
it did. And that was life changing for me because I could not, in my mind, I couldn't have made the leap from 60 to 800. I could have made the leap from 60 to 100 if I would have sent like a mass email to everyone I know and like basically begged them to come. I would have tried to control the circumstances. And I think that's an important lesson too, that each of us have to decipher for ourselves as we grow is what is the perfect combination of how much trust and then always acting on the inspired action. So, not trying to force the circumstances in the ways that we comprehend, but okay, I'm going to trust and get confirmation, and then I'm going to hear the inspired action, and then I'm going to act upon it. Because if you don't take those three together, if you're not getting the trust and then you're not hearing the inspired action and then certainly not acting on it, it can't come to fruition. There is that action.
This is exactly what I wanted to say when, as you were speaking, I didn't want to interrupt. That when I was ill, when I was in the hospital, I forgot to mention that the day before my performance on my the general rehearsal, dancing rehearsal, I broke my rib. Sorry, you just took a sip of the water. I did it was the moment when I was like, and I had a lot of lifts with my with on my choreography. So I fell on the floor. The dancer, he obviously he caught me. So I fell on the floor. He's like, "Oh my God, I heard it. What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, everything is fine." But I couldn't sleep the whole night and I knew. So in the middle of the night, I texted my friend who's a doctor and I said, "This is what happened. This is what I'm experiencing right now. Tomorrow is the show. You're the guest. Can you help me?"
Yeah.
Because God said I'm still doing it. But because it was the moment when I looked up and I was like, "You
Really?
got to be kidding me." You have this was the moment when I said, "You have a great sense of humor." Seriously, this was the moment.
Right.
And and I was like, am I still doing it or is it a sign? And this was always my question. I take from the outside world, I take whatever happens, I take it to God and I'm like, is this the sign of doing it or not doing it? Like, answer. And then if I hear yes, I cannot force it
Yeah.
because this is the difference. You know, 15 years ago, I would force it. I would either give up or I would push myself. You have to do it. But if I was doing it from like, as Melanie says, he's hiring me. So I'm like, we're doing it. Okay, we're still doing it. So I had the message. So now I know that I have to take care of my human. I have to take care of my body. Like, what are the steps that I have to do in order to deliver
Yes.
what my boss told me to do? So it's not like I'm pushing myself in the way that I'm being very hard on myself. I'm actually doing it with love. Like, okay, we're doing it. So I'm going to take care of you the best I can. I will give you the best doctor. I will give you the massage before the show. I will give you like all the best, everything you need to this gorgeous body, to this temple. And then it looks like pushing maybe, but it's not pushing. It's my devotion to love. It's actually filled with love. So this is the massive difference.
Yes. Yes. We have to nurture ourselves in order to serve to our ultimate capacity. That's one of the beautiful things that we both believe in is you are the one, whatever that looks like for you. And the things that are coming through you, the desires on your heart and the thoughts, the things that you secretly hold or that you already are trying to create, they're yours. They're specifically meant for your flavor, your uniqueness, your thought, your language, the way you bring it, your personality. It's all yours. God, the universe has hired you to do this. But there is that combination of we need to be nurturing ourselves in order to perform at our highest and have the grace to understand There will be times that we doubt. There will be times where it's hard. There are times you want to sit in bed and cry. There are times where we give up and then we come back and we give up and we come back. But this story was so life-changing for me to watch. I love things on a big scale because had it gone from 60 to 75 people, it still would have been an increase. But to go from 60 to 800 in such a short span of time, that's what we need sometimes to realize this is so much bigger than me. And that's what I love about surrounding yourself with people that believe in miracles, that actually step outside their comfort zones, because we can even dream our biggest dreams, but there is a level beyond our comprehension if we trust and if we do things like this. We ask, we follow, we take care of ourselves. We ask, we follow, we take care of ourselves, and always following in that, and always following in the inspired action, but also giving yourself grace when the human is like, not today, not today, I'm exhausted, not today, I need some food, I feel sad and I don't trust myself and I'm not even sure if I'm good enough. There is grace for that. And when you have those days, to be willing to have someone who helps to hold your vision with you, to reach out and be like, I just don't know. Today, I'm not in that trust. Today, I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure. You got someone else to just hold you up and love you right there.
Because, okay, so many things.
Yes.
First of all, even what you told me before we started about that podcast is called The One, and that there might be just this one person who is going to be impacted, and that's like, this is why I'm doing it. The vision might be bigger. You cannot even imagine where this podcast is gonna go. Like, maybe in 3 years it's gonna be, you're gonna be selling it for a few billions, because going to be so massive, and your brand is going to be incredible. Like, you don't know. But when we remember that there is still, like, we are connecting to souls, that it's like one soul at a time, even if millions of people are listening to it.
Yeah.
It's like we want to connect to every single soul, not to million as 1 million, but every single person, one person within that million. And then there is other perspective on that we are not in this alone, that we are not in this just by ourselves. This is why it's so profound to be in spaces where we met, in the mentoring spaces, where it's not only about the mentor, but she's actually gathering souls who are the one, like one. She called us. And then whatever happens, I know where to reach out. I will not go to a person who is specialist in sales.
Yeah.
I knew that that's not the case. I knew I have to come to our mastermind. I knew this is the place where our women who are connected deeper, who understand it deeper, who feel it deeper, and together we can create magic.
Yes.
And I felt it. And this created connection between me and every single one of you in
Mhm.
this mastermind, like forever and ever. Because I said it on the stage on that show. I said this, I didn't do it. Like, there was
Mhm.
army of women
Yep.
who were standing behind me and who were manifesting it with me. And I am blessed to be in the room with these women. So this is magic. And the fact that we are now connecting even deeper in your podcast,
Mm.
there is a ripple, there is a domino effect of that. And this is magic. This is something that I feel, this is why we're living for these moments.
Yes. Yes. And you said something and it hit me in a way I hadn't ever really understood before about the one, because you're right. If you're presenting something, let's say there is a million, no, let's go smaller first. So we're creating something, and as we release it to the world, it goes to one. Let's say 10 people are listening to this podcast at once, but each person is hearing it in their own way. They're getting the message that's meant specifically for them. So even if there was 100 in the room, it is still one conversation between me and you, to the one who's listening driving in their Chevy truck, and then me and you to the one who's listening while she's doing the dishes, and then me and you. And there could be three people sitting in the living room together listening to this or watching this, but even those three will have their own unique conversation with you and I, because language is energetic. And so there is a specific message that will flow out of this conversation to the right person in the energetic way that they need to hear it, so that they feel the inspiration in their life and how they can apply that to their specific circumstances. It is a specific conversation one on one for each one person who shows up. So when you sang and performed for 800 people, you were actually having a unique, energetic frequency conversation and performance with 800 separate individuals, instead of, it's a collective which holds an energy, but it's 800 individual conversations. And I really felt that. That's another thing I would love for people to understand when they are hearing this and taking this forward, on how you could apply it into your own life. Every one person that is showing up in your career, in your family, in your friendships, it's a unique conversation. Everything you share, that's really important. Whatever is on your heart for you specifically to share with the world, even if it only reaches one, that conversation was meant to be had. That's why it reached the one. And that's my trust in this podcast, is every conversation is meant for at least one. And if that's one times 1 million over a certain amount of time, that's great. But I trust, and I know, I feel it so much in my soul with this conversation, that it will get to the right one, and it will translate into the right frequency and language that that person needs to be inspired by this story. And I love that I have the opportunity to feature people so that you can share the truth and the vulnerabilities, so that other people can see. Because to look at you, to see you online, you are just beauty in a human body. You just radiate such, but to know like your story of how you got there, that brings so much hope to so many young girls. That brings so much hope to someone not even young, in their 30s, and you inspire me, and I'm 52. It inspires everyone. But there has to be that truth and that connection and the opportunity to hear the voice or to see the face and then recognize, could be possible for me too.
And I'm so grateful that you brought it out, that you said I want to talk about this story, because sometimes something feels impossible, then we do it, and then it's, yeah, I did it. It's, yeah, I did it. But then it is the proof, it is the evidence, it is the hope, and it is a reminder that if we decide internally and we are in a cooperation with the divine, and if we decide we're doing it, I'm doing it, we are doing it.
Yeah.
And then you just listen, then we just listen what needs to be done to make it happen. That's the only thing. And you have to stay present in the pain, in the anxiety, in the panic, in the doubts, in the undermining your worth and the sense of all of that, in analyzing if it's actually worth it. Maybe I will move to the forest and just live there and plant
Yeah.
garden and so forth. It's
Everybody
like,
in the world.
why am I doing it to myself every single time? So
Yes.
we have to move through that, and however it looks like, because when you take Instagram, you look at my account, I share it. I always share about my struggles. But when you look at me, you can say, yeah, it's easy to say to her because this and that. But then sharing the backstage, sharing what we both went through, because you were in the process, and how much it takes and how much there is to hold, and that we are also humans. Like whatever success there is, we are still human beings, and we are still anxious sometimes. I feel that if someone told me that 15 years ago, it would be very, very, very helpful and supportive. So thank you for bringing that. Let it be the light in the tunnel for anyone that listens.
The more this happens for us, the more we recognize that we are capable beyond the limitations we place on ourselves. So to have experiences happen, and after the thing comes to fruition, you sit back and you realize, wow, when I do trust in something bigger, I recognize there is a divinity in me. There is something in me that I didn't know I was capable of. I think that's important because we are so much more capable than any of us recognize. And those that are in our industry or in our vision that have succeeded to a level that we admire, it's evidence of what's possible. They have discipline that we haven't experienced yet. They have a vision we haven't experienced yet. And they have connections that we may not have experienced yet. We cannot accomplish anything alone. I say this to my clients all the time. You have to get very clear on the vision and desire in your heart, but flexible with the time frame, because every fantastic opportunity that's ever happened to me requires an intersection of someone bringing a connection, an opportunity, the financing, the dream, the missing piece of the puzzle. So there's my timeline intersecting with another timeline, like a T in a stoplight. You know, when you're driving down the road, the T in the road, for those who are listening, not watching. And I also felt one thing that I wanted to add in case there's anyone out there feeling really alone. Like, I don't have these connections and I don't have this support network and I don't have someone that I could go talk to hold my dreams and hold my visions. They have this mastermind and they found each other. And I've been there before. We've all been there before where we feel really lonely. And what it requires is showing up. And one of the most beautiful things about Facebook and Instagram is Riya and I would have never met any other way. And we would have never had this conversation if she wouldn't have shown up and been vulnerable, and I wouldn't have shown up and been vulnerable. If we would have just both jumped in that container and never spoken, we would have never known each other. If we wouldn't have come in and shared our stories, we wouldn't have known each other. And I've talked about this with a lot of my friends and family. Everybody wants a new friend. Everyone's looking for a soul friend out there. But if you can take that opportunity to choose a new place to show up, whether it's in the real world, physical, find a club, find a network, find a hobby, find something to connect with a soul sister, soul brother. The connections are waiting to happen, but we need to act first. I'm inviting you to jump into some better online spaces. Maybe put yourself in some groups you feel drawn to, because the sisterhood, the friendships I have made online are some of the deepest, most treasured friendships. We are across the world. We would have never met any other way. And so I look at social media as this opportunity for God, the universe, to be like, hey, you two are meant to meet each other. Let's put you guys together in this, and then make sure you talk and make sure you just follow the sparkle and the intuition that, hey, I really like this person. This person could be someone that I adore. And it is in the connection. So if you're not feeling like you have that, it's on you to start showing up, start choosing it, start desiring it, and then putting yourself in the places where it can happen, and then watch the magic. I just wanted to add those last little parts.
I love it. I love it. I love how you see the depths in all of that. I love it. Thank you.
I could talk to you for hours on end, but
I know I could do the same.
I know, but we're for sure going to have her back because there's something coming in the future. So you will see.
You can already say it.
Yes, she's got a book coming. Yes, tell us what's coming and then tell
The
us how
book
they can find
is
you.
coming. The book is coming, and actually, that story is also in the book because the book is all my memories, my diaries, and all these stories that brought me here, including this one, because the magic needs to be seen by others, to be the evidence, to be the hope, to be the inspiration for everyone when if they decide to not believe, or if they decide to fall asleep for a moment, then it's going to wake them up and remind them. So the book is massive. It's on my 44th birthday, and it's 44 chapters, and yeah, it's massive. It's my life.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so it is weird to publish the book in the middle of life, like theoretically the middle of life, because let's say I'm gonna go into my 80s or 90s, then it's middle of life. Maybe it's not, but it is pretty interesting because I'm closing a kind of chapter with this book,
Mhm.
and I love it. And it's a very deep process, but I also feel it's not mine, literally. It's like I've been woken up in the middle of the night by don't know what and how, and told to write. So I was writing and taking all my memories out and taking all my diaries out, and I was writing and writing. So it feels big. It feels like it's the work of my life. So I am treating it very seriously. I feel very responsible for that. I feel that billions of people are going to read it. So I feel, again, the connection with all these people through every single word. It's very intense in terms of responsibility and seriousness, but also I feel so privileged to be able to do it. So the book is coming on my birthday in winter, in December.
I love that. And we will have you on right around that time, around the release before it's out. So we'll see you again. If people want to purchase something from you right now, and if they want to connect with you, tell us all of those things so someone can come and find you.
Yeah, I made sure that I'm everywhere. So if you just type my name on Google, you
Yes.
will find me everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and also I have my website, so you can also contact me via email. So wherever you feel to connect, it's Riya Sokól, and you'll find me there, and I'm waiting for you.
Yes. And we'll make sure we have all the links. And then
Thank you.
before we end, my favorite thing to ask all of my guests is sitting with the woman that you are today and what you feel for the future. How would you end this statement? I am the one who.
I am the one who connects all the voices in one.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and being willing to share your story. Thank you for your heart and your soul. Thank you for everything that you've lived to become this woman, to be so connected to your mission, to what you're offering to the world. You truly are a gift, and I'm so grateful to know you. And I can't wait to speak with you again soon.
I am so grateful for you doing it. Thank you for the depths, and thank you for your courage to open this podcast. This is massive, and I feel it's bigger than you think. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening, everyone. We will see you again soon.